Good afternoon, guys. I hope you're well. I have just found the article that I was looking for and I wanted to give a live reaction to it. This is the article that I believe Archewell saw and decided to use to pull their support from Miss Janine Najib's organization. I'm going to read it and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on it based on the article itself. Milwaukee mural sends a message: stop genocide in Gaza. Posted by Sandra Whitehead, September 2024. Photos by Kamal Moon. Together we have demonstrated our community's courage to stand up for what is right, says in Sa sorry, I don't have my glasses. Issa Atta, who commissioned a mural displayed on his building in Milwaukee to protest against Israel's bombing of Gaza. Murals are one of the most prevalent public forms of art you can find in Milwaukee, says WUM 89.7 FM reporter Nadia Kelly. In the second part of the series, Reflections of Representations, posted Tuesday, she notes they transform blank walls into canvases that can comment on local issues and express the values and dreams of the greater Milwaukee community. Kelly's article coincidentally ran while controversy brewed over a mural on a building in Milwaukee's Harambee neighborhood that highlights the suffering of Palestinians in Gaza. The owner of the building displaying the mural, Ihsan Atta, a Palestinian American from Milwaukee, commissioned the art to bring attention to the crisis in Gaza. It draws the comparisons to the Holocaust inflicted by the Nazis on 6 million Jews by incorporating a swastika into the heart Star of David imposed on images of destruction in Gaza, with the statement, "The irony of becoming was what you once hated." Let me quickly pause. Guys, I want you to, again, look at this very well, understand the art, understand the reason behind the art, because it's very important. Okay. The mural drew ire from the Milwaukee Jewish Federation last week, a rebuke from the Milwaukee Common Council Saturday, and several incidents of vandalism. It was praised by leaders of the Milwaukee chapter of Jewish Voice for Peace and other members of Wisconsin Coalition for Justice in Palestine, an interfaith coalition of 85 organizations promoting peace and social justice and calling for ceasefire in Gaza. I want to quickly say something here. The mural drew ire from the Milwaukee Jewish Federation last week, a rebuke from the Common Council Saturday, and several incidents of vandalism. Now, I want us to understand that this mural was supported by the interfaith group, the WCJP, as well as also drawing ire from Jewish groups. I want to remind everyone of the Archewell statement. Archewell, as much as possible, does not want to have a political stand. They said it in their statement, and you can go back to my video and watch it. They said in their statement, we want to represent everyone. Do you now see why this mural, even though I understand the artistic expression of it, would be a problem for a charity like Archewell, right, who wants to be neutral? Because being neutral makes it possible for them to help everyone from all sides. And let's be clear, this is not Archewell being unreasonable and personally going after this group. You can see here, I'm saying it again, the mural drew ire from the Milwaukee Jewish Federation, rebuke from the Milwaukee Common Council, and several incidents of vandalism. People were not happy with this mural. Right? And I'm sure some of these people represent a people that Archewell also contributes to. Let's continue reading. WCJP held a press conference on Monday to draw attention to the backlash against the mural and the hampering of free expression of those calling for an end to the Israeli military's devastating destruction of Gaza. In addition to the WCJP member organization representatives, local community members spoke to the half dozen media representatives covering the press conference. The mural's message. Rachel Buff, co-chair of WCJP and co-founder of the Milwaukee's chapter of Jewish Voice for Peace, told the reporters the mural's message is not anti-Semitic, rather it is anti-Zionist. This is the co-founder here standing. I believe that's her. Yeah, that's her. WCJP co-chair Janan Najib, president of the Milwaukee Muslim Women's Coalition, said the message is anti-genocide. Attack called it pro-humanity. Its mission is to raise awareness of the brutal destruction currently happening in Gaza. Palestinian health authorities say Israel's ground and air campaigns in Gaza have killed more than 40,000 people, mostly civilians, a number widely misunderstood to be incomplete, and forced most of Gaza's 2.3 million people from their homes since October 7. The accumulative effects of Israel's war on Gaza could mean the real death toll will reach more than 186,000 people, according to the July 5th article in The Lancet, a leading medical journal. Israel launched a devastating bombing campaign in Gaza after Hamas militants implemented a surprise attack in Israel. The militants broke out of Gaza, and area human rights organizations have called an open prison because Israel restricts the movements of people in the small enclave. More than 1,200 people, mostly civilians, were killed, 253 taken into captivity, according to the Israeli government. These are the news stations that attended the press conference. Atta praised River Rest neighborhood resident Michael Gaultier, who at his own personal risk stepped in to stop an angry man equipped with an hammer from destroying the mural. I am not an activist, but I guess this is one of those questions of do what you can when you can. This is the man here. On my way back from work the other night, I saw criminals destroying this mural. I understood what the artist was trying to do, and I was definitely in favor of freedom of artistic expression and freedom of political speech. Even if I had disagreed with it, which I didn't, I would have stopped to do the right thing when there are criminals destroying someone's property in front of me. I did it for the world where we can engage in political speech. I want to live in a world where we can express a political statement about what's happening in Gaza right now without bringing violence upon ourselves, said Gaultier. This is very important. I'll come back to it at the end. Jewish leaders against Zionism. WCJP co-chairs Najib and Boff both called on the media to listen to Jewish leaders who call for ceasefire in Gaza and justice for Palestinians. We have quite a few Jewish organizations in WCJP, Najib noted. It concerns us when we read headlines that say Jewish leaders are outraged by the mural. There are tons of Jews who are part of this movement for liberation because they believe that they believe that is really what their Judaism is all about. I don't want to brag, said Boff, but I'm a Jewish leader. When there's something like this happening in the community that's very controversial and polarizing, no one from the media calls Jewish Voice for Peace Milwaukee. No one from the media talks to anti-Zionist Jews. There are more and more of us. Studies show that most Jews under 40 do not see Israel as a necessary part of Judaism. You need to talk to the anti-Zionist Jews. We've been out here for a year protesting the worst thing I've ever seen, the images coming out of Gaza and the West Bank, and somehow it routinely gets tossed aside. I think most Americans, if you ask them, would not know what's going on because it's not in the headlines. She appreciates the media who came to the conference, she added. It's been a real difficult year, and it's going to continue to be real difficult going forward until we end this, until we free Palestine, until we get back to the real meaning of the Star of David, so that it is not associated with the swastika as it has been for so many Palestinians. What's next? Atta said he has asked the artist to create another mural for this space. He anticipates it will be done this week. The mural that was here will be reproduced and displayed in another space, less accessible to would-be vandals. Atta pledged to keep replacing the murals for as long as it takes. Other community members will continue to support Palestinians, said Alan Chavoya, the outreach chair of the Milwaukee Alliance Against Race and Political Repression. The people in this neighborhood continue to fight back against repression and to stand with the Palestinians, joining two struggles. It's up to us here in the United States from different movements we represent to continue to come together in quick fashion and stand up for our freedoms, our liberation struggles, and to stand up for Palestine. We are going to continue to demand an end to U.S. aid to Israel. If the Common Council, the Milwaukee Jewish Federation, and anyone else so bothered by the mural wants it removed, I offered them an option. If they truly believe in justice for all, and if they are willing to acknowledge and condemn the genocide taking place and call for ceasefire, I would be willing to consider not reinstalling that mural. The last words. The swastika is a symbol of division, hatred, and violence, said Monjade Ahmad, Islamic Society of Milwaukee board member. That is exactly why the artist who created the mural associated the swastika with the blue Star of David. Get the real meaning of the Star of David back, so that it is not associated with the swastika as it has been for many Palestinians, says the WCJP co-chair Janine Najib. Okay, here are my thoughts, and let me use this civilian as a way to make my thoughts clear. I am not an activist, said Gautier, but I guess this is one of those questions of do what you can when you can. On my way home from work the other night, I saw criminals destroying this mural. I understood what the artist was trying to do, and I was definitely in favor of freedom of artistic expression and freedom of political speech. Even if I had disagreed with it, which I didn't, I would have stepped in to do the right thing. When there are criminals destroying somebody's property in front of me, I did it for a world where we can engage in political speech. I want to live in a world where we can express a political statement about what's happening in Gaza right now without bringing violence on ourselves. So here are my thoughts. I said it 2 days ago, and I'm going to say it again. Harry and Meghan are not political figures. They do not want to be political figures. Through their foundation, at least at this moment anyway, Archewell is certainly not a political foundation. And if you want to rewatch the video with their statement, please go back and have a look at my video that just came out. If you understand that, you will understand why it is going to be very hard for them to continue to support WCJP because of this mural. Right? Yes, I agree with Gautier. On my own, if it was just me, I don't have any issue with that artistic expression. The mural they've explained what the mural is about and how they are using the controversial, how they are using the, I wouldn't say inflammatory, how they are using the shock of the mural to send a political statement, because that is what artists do. This is how they express themselves. They use art to send political messages, and it is intended to grab headlines. It is intended to arrest your attention. It is intended, in many cases, to fuel your outrage, right? And the article also very clearly says that, look, This is not an anti-Semitic message. We are not anti any. The only groups that we are anti is anti-Zionist, because they feel that people are using Zionism to justify genocide. This is what they feel. They are free to express themselves. There are many people who support this and agree with this message. That being said, Michael Gauthier is an individual and he is free to have these feelings. I am an individual. I am free to have and express these feelings. But when you are standing behind a foundation that has clearly come out to say, our personal feelings aside, we do not want this foundation to be involved in politics. We want to be able to step in and help everyone. You understand why Archewell had to do what they had to do. To me, it is a very, very straightforward thing. Whether you agree with it or not, if you don't agree, that's fair. Go and start your own foundation. Miss Najib said it in her statement, which I put in my other video, that they are not happy with Archewell. Archewell has a choice to make their decision, and they are going to other foundations that will allow them to be as political as they want to be and give them donations. Fine, that's fair. Archewell has said, look, we don't want to be involved in this. And that is also fair to them as well. And for those of you that keep on that for some reason, I'm not understanding why they don't want to be involved in this. Prince Harry is a member of the royal family. He needs to be as apolitical as possible. He cannot be seen to take any political side. This is why he categorically said, I do not vote. This is why Harry would be photographed next to Trump, next to Melania, which he has been, Melania at least, because why? She was there to support the Invictus Games. And I'm very sure Harry would have been photographed next to Trump, whether or not he supported him, but if Trump hadn't insulted his wife. And don't forget, during the Invictus Games, Harry did call out Trump in his own way. Because yes, he insulted his wife. You have to remember the royal family cannot be political. This is why I keep on bringing William. When William went up and gave that his Gaza speech, that I have to, probably the only thing he's ever said that I agree with. He was mocked, dragged by the same toadying British press. In fact, even the Israel government insulted him that he should go and fix the issue he has with his brother before he puts his mouth in this matter. And everybody had to run interference for him to kind of like push him away from the political side of the whole Gaza-Israel conflict. I wouldn't even call it a conflict. I'll call it Israel performing acts of genocide against people of Gaza. A conflict is when people can fight back. We know what this is, guys. We're not stupid. We all have a brain. We all have critical thinking. We know what this is. We know why it is important for Archewell, Prince Harry by association, to be apolitical. This is not a reflection on Harry and Meghan. But they cannot allow their foundation to be political. And more importantly, they have every right to say, no, we are not going to support this. Even without giving that statement, I agree with Erica Christine. They shouldn't have had to explain themselves. They've backed off. The reason why this became news is because Miss Janine Najib went to the media intentionally to create ire, to create discord, to create chaos, because Archewell told her that they were pulling away from her charity. She didn't have to go to the media, but she chose to because she knew what would happen. And this is why people are calling her Sophie Chandauka Part 2. You claim that you are fighting for your charity. You claim that you are fighting for funding, but you ran to the media to go and complain. Archewell sent you a letter and backed away. It didn't have to be public knowledge. You made it public knowledge. Now, other people that want to support you will be like, ooh, whoa. We don't need that. And this is what these people don't seem to understand about these types of things. Whether you like it or not, whether you are standing in your right or not, yeah? If you're getting donations from people or support from people, especially from charities, you need to understand that PR is important. Not every charity can afford bad PR or wants bad PR, because charities are not a non-profit. They rely on donations from people. And if people start seeing inflammatory things online, in many cases, they don't want that association. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to understand how charity politics work. This is not a private company. This is charity. People are cautious about who they are giving their money to. So you have to be careful. Archewell is not Harry and Meghan's pet project. They're not funding it themselves. They have donors. And for them to maintain their donors and their credibility with these donors, they have to be careful who they sponsor. I don't understand how many times you Sophie Chandauka clones will go to the media before you understand the media is not your friend. The media is out to hurt Harry and Meghan. Once they push, many of the media probably don't even support Gaza. They probably support Israel, as you've seen. They don't give a damn about your charity. They give a damn about creating false negative clicks for Harry and Meghan. By next week, this whole story would have ended, or even before then. And Jenny and Miss Najib will now have put her charity out there in the spotlight. If other people that want to support her charity are thinking, oh, let me support her charity, they would look at her reaction to a charity removing their funding and be like, whoa, okay, I don't know if I want to support this woman. She's too confrontational. She's too inflammatory. I don't want that bad press. I don't know why you guys don't think before you do these things. I want to say it again in closing. Archewell and any charity have a right to say this is who they want to support and who this is who they do not want to support. This is not a solo endeavor. They have donors. Donors need to be comfortable to keep on supporting these charities like Archewell Foundation. If they feel uncomfortable, they will pull out. And then what do you want Harry and Meghan to do? And I want to also call something out. Harry and Meghan also support other Muslim charities. They support other Muslim women charities. Meghan herself got destroyed in the press, the right-wing press that are suddenly caring about this issue now, when she was supporting, when she made that Grenfell book for that Grenfell cookbook. They more or less called her a terrorist. Camilla Tomini, we can all remember that, right? She took that risk. No other member of the royal family has done anything like that. The only thing that they've done is that whole Prince William coming out to support Gaza, and see how they dragged him. So all I'm trying to say here is, can we please have some nuance? It is not just jumping and running and doing performative outrage. We are all angry about what is going on in Gaza. Many of us are. Some of us are contributing to groups, are donating. Some of us are going out and we're speaking. Some of us are marching. You have your own way of showing your outrage. Stop policing everybody else. This is a charity. They have their articles of engagement. She violated this company, WCJP, on the basis of this mural, whatever the intention, violated that engagement, and they ended the relationship quietly. It became public knowledge because Miss Najib brought it to the press for whatever reason and used it for clickbait. I'm not upset with Harry and Meghan. I'm not upset with Archewell Foundation. They are not political. They don't want to be political. They want to serve everyone. I'm very sure if Russia invited Harry to come and visit with the wounded soldiers, even though I'm sure Harry would love to go because he is there for the soldiers, he will probably have to be careful too, because he knows that Russia will probably also want to use him to send a political message. These people have to be careful, because even with your best intentions, there are people who have bad intentions who will use your images to push narratives. So all I'm saying is, I don't see anything wrong with what Archewell did. They told you what the rules of engagement were. You broke it. You may not have realized at the time that you broke it, but it is done. Move on. There are other people. You said it yourself, Miss Najib, that there are other people that support you. Move to them. Leave Archewell alone. And I want to also echo what Erica said. Everybody should stop expecting Archewell to solve, Harry and Meghan to solve everybody's problems. These are human beings. There are other people out in the media, the royal family, people that are actually being tax funded. Why aren't you reaching out to them and holding them responsible for not saying anything about Gaza? And I'm not talking about the performative speech that that William gave that he got dragged for. I mean, really supporting the charities they have. Are they actually donating? Are they doing anything? How about calling out Donald Trump for happily saying that he wants to level Gaza and turn it to a Middle East Dubai? Sorry, a new version of American Middle East Dubai. Where was the outrage for that? Why are you harassing? Harry and Meghan are only two people. They can't solve everybody's problem. Archewell Foundation has the right to say they want to support and who they don't want to support. Period. And yeah, sorry, this has gone on long enough. I just wanted to react to the article. Please let me know your thoughts. Please let me know your feelings. Let me know how you feel, because this is a safe space. And yeah, for those of you that are so-called Sussex fans that are always reacting without taking a step back and having some nuance, you maybe this space is not for you, because every day cannot be outrage farming. It's getting stressful. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.